3 people died and over 500 people were injured during the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013. I was 2 blocks away when it happened. I had the day off, but none of my friends did. The Boston Marathon is such a big event, and I didn't want to miss it, so I decided just to go alone. I was on my way to the finish line, but thanks to my terrible sense of direction, I got off the orange line 3 stations too early. The correct station would have put me about 2 blocks from the finish line. I didn't want to pay for another train ticket, so I decided just to walk and enjoy the sunshine. I popped in some headphones and decided to call my mom to catch up a bit while I made my way over to Copley Square. It took me about 30 minutes to get there. I knew I was too late to see the first runners crossing the line, but I still wanted to see some runners crossing at least. I was wrapping up my phone call when there was a loud boom that sounded nearby, followed shortly after by another. It was loud enough to make my mom stop mid-sentence to ask, what was that? She seemed pretty startled by it. I just kind of shrugged it off. I told her I'm only a couple blocks from the finish line. Maybe they were just doing some celebration cannons or fireworks. But even as I said the words, they didn't make any sense since, the winner had already won. I told her I wasn't sure, but I was going to get closer to check it out and I'd call her back later. As I continued heading toward the finish line, I noticed more and more people running in the opposite direction. I stopped a few to ask why they were running, and they all responded, I don't know. I thought that was odd. I didn't want to run the other way for an unknown reason, so I was determined. I already had so many delays and I was so close. Then I saw 2 large black SUVs with dark tinted windows and flashing lights in the grills flying around the corner, heading straight toward the finish line. That's when I decided, okay, there is something serious happening over there, and maybe it is a bad idea to keep going in the direction that regular people are running from and Homeland Security SUVs are speeding toward. I checked my phone signal. No signal. That's weird. I looked around and I spotted a police officer. I thought, great, he'll know what to do. So I approached him and I said, sir, what is happening? And he said in a full panic voice, eyes looking wild, says that there's a terrorist attack with bombs and a bunch of people are dead. And I realized this is bad. I actually need to get away from here. And so I asked, how do I get to Back Bay Station? He responds with, we closed the T stations. Where else do you think the terrorists would have put the rest of their bombs? I could hear people around me echoing his panicked words, like, they're bombing the T stations? How will we get out? I decide this isn't helpful, and if I continue this line of questioning, it'll just make things worse for everyone around us. Then I thought of my mom. Bombs. Are you kidding me? This must be all over the news, and the last thing I told her was that I was going to get closer to check it out, and now she can't reach me. So I keep moving. I kept close to building windows, watching my phone to see if I could pick up guest Wi-Fi somewhere, and eventually I did. I was able to pull up and screenshot a map of the Orange Line T stations. I figured I would just keep walking north station by station until I either find one still open or, eventually, get to my car. I finally found one and I caught the next train heading north. As soon as the train crossed the river, my cell phone signal returned. Everyone's phone started ringing and buzzing all at the same time. It's like emerging from a bubble. I immediately called my mom back to let her know that I was okay. I think my biggest takeaway from this whole experience was that I now know that I can rely on myself. I can get myself out. I didn't panic and freeze up, hoping someone else would tell me what to do. I didn't just run away blindly, not knowing where it was safe to go. I remained calm, I assessed the situation, and I adapted.